You know, I was about to just make this, I don't know. It just wasn't right, the way I was going about it. But I was too scared to go about this the right way. Yes, we're talking about Shane Dawson, but that's not the underlying message here. You know what this whole Shane Dawson thing is? All it is fear. It's not anything more or anything less, regardless of whether he actually did the actions or not. All it is a way for people to control what you do. Doesn't make sense, I know, but it really does if you think about it. Why not let, people who are local deal with it, people in his life, ask him about it? Why profit off of Shane Dawson's suffering? How would you feel if those rumors were spreading around about you? Even if you did do it, why would that make you want to improve yourself? The thing is, with online access, there are a lot of dangers, and what Shane Dawson said was not alright, okay? But him saying it brought it to light. Him actually talking about it made people realize it. It's better than staying silent. People don't realize that. If he would have stayed silent, nobody would have ever talked about this issue. And you know what? We can learn something from this issue. This is not supposed to be like a Ryan Higa type thing where I rant on at the end. It's funny, but it's supposed to be serious. Think about it. If the animal doesn't get hurt, why does it matter? I know I'm going to get so many comments, so many unsubscribers, so much hate, so many dislikes, but why? I'm not going to let fear try to control that question. Because think about it. In the past, we've been wrong about this kind of stuff. We need to look into it. We need to actually find out what's going on, okay? Not only in Shane Dawson, but in everybody. Simply spreading hate about somebody. Simply telling somebody they're disgusting and worthless, useless, that their life is just garbage, that they should have been aborted or they should have died. It doesn't do anything. It makes it worse. Why would you tell somebody to stop living their lives? No matter how horrible of an action they actually did, it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help anything. The reason why we have so many criminals and why we have such a massive tension, at least, we're around where I am in the US, it's because the issues aren't being addressed. They're being ignored. They're being reversed. Why would you let society's opinion affect your outlook on a person? I'm not saying what he did was what he should have done, assuming that he did do it, right? What I am saying is that telling him he's a piece of shit isn't going to help anyone. It isn't going to help anything. We don't even know where this rumor started. It's predicted to be started by Onision, who has a bias against him anyway, to begin with. You see, we let these creators mess with our minds, alright? There's a reason that I barely watch Philip DeFranco, that I barely watch H3, that I barely watch all these popular YouTubers anymore. They tell you what they want you to believe. PewDiePie has done so much awful stuff. He's said so much awful stuff. And yet, he managed to turn that around. I'm not saying it was justified, but he did something about it. He donated. He helped people out. Or at least he tried to. So, I can respect him for that, okay? He's not a bad guy because he fucked up, alright? At least he's trying to improve himself and get better. It's the same thing with this whole charade of people against YouTube in general. YouTube is what got us to this place right now. Respect YouTube for what it was. Don't hate on it for what it is, alright? YouTube is what you make it. It's not what the website is. Yes, you might get censored, or you might have something taken down, but that's life. People aren't always going to like your message. In fact, most of the time, people won't like controversial messages like the one I'm spouting out of my mouth right now, alright? Why should I cater to a community that's constantly gonna pressure me, using fear and divisive kind of technological advances to control me? Why? I've done it without knowing. You've probably done it without knowing. We've all probably done it. We've all contributed to it. All of these unpopular beliefs. I was like, I don't want rumors to spread. I don't want my reputation ruined, but what's the point? Why does it matter? Life is short. We don't have time to just ignore all of these issues. We don't have time to ignore animal abuse. We don't have time to ignore everything that's going on in the world right now. We don't have the time. We need to address it and confront it. We need to see whether we were right or wrong about it, and probably somewhere in between is the answer. But we need to address these. We need studies, alright, about sexualities. And yes, I'm talking about this one and this one, alright? Why is it so scary? I get why this one's a bit scary, right? But refusing to talk about it is going to do the opposite of fixing it. In fact, the whole stigma around sex has admittedly hurt me so bad because I was a victim of molestation. You know what that does to a kid when they're told that they're a victim over and over again? That they're told they're special and that they're different? It's meant to be a good thing, and it's not. It's not healthy. You have these kids thinking in their heads that they're isolated. You have them thinking that they can't relate to anybody. You know, I was about to make a video on why Shane Dawson could have done it or whatever, but who cares anymore? First of all, it is 2019, and I'm not afraid to admit that this deviant stuff doesn't scare me, alright? That's something good that came out of creative content. I realize this stuff is only horrific if I actually make it horrific. Think of it from the person's perspective, how they're told every day that they don't matter because of it. They're told that they're freaks or whatever, they're isolated completely. And even if people encourage the behavior, they're still being isolated because they're kind of torn apart. All these thoughts kind of trigger something in me. Yeah, I know, trigger jokes. But you know what it made me think? It made me say, why? Why are we being so scared? Humanity didn't get here by running away from its problems and just pretending nothing was going on. We conquered our problems, alright? Even if it was in inhumane ways, at least we solved it. But you know what? There's no excuse to solve it in a terrible way. If somebody needs help with their sexuality, why should they have to be ashamed to go up to somebody and tell them? I don't consider anybody a victim, alright? Even people who are abused, you're only a victim if you choose to be a victim of that. And I know it's hard to accept. I know it looks like your life is going nowhere, and your life is destroyed, your reputation, right? Think of how Shane Dawson feels right now and compare it to that, alright? If Shane Dawson did do what he said he did, which he might have, then why should he be so scared to admit it and ask for help? Or at the very least, come clean. Be able to come clean without getting hanged or burned at a stake. That's not the way to handle it. In fact, those people are way worse than the people who did the original crime, alright? They're way worse. They're so toxic. You have the right to expand things. You have the right to improve things. You have the right to change things. Because I kind of realized the same pattern repeats itself throughout history. And if we allow people to just tell us they're useless because of one quality they have that they probably want to get rid of themselves, that's not fair. That is the basis of discrimination, after all. And the slippery slope argument can go both directions. Once again, I'm not saying this is right. I'm also not completely condemning it. I'm just saying it needs to be looked into. It needs to have the fear removed from it. And the actual ideas and the aspect and the problem itself needs to be solved. Thank you for watching.